Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You know what time it is where you are. My name is Mark Evanier, and for over 20 years, I've been doing panels at Comic-Con International and at WonderCon, bringing terrific voice actors to you to show what they do. I direct voices in cartoons from time to time, and I am amazed at the talent of these people, as you will be amazed. We've been doing these online. I hope this is the last one we have to do online. I hope the next one of these we do is in a room with live people, and you people in the audience are able to cheer these fabulous people. But for right now, let me introduce you to four of the best people who work in the business these days. I am in box number 1. In box number 2, we have Candi Milo. In box number 3, we have Wally Wingert. In box number 4, we have Jenny Yokobori. And in box number 5, we have Zeno Robinson. Thank you all for joining us all.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask them all now to tell us what they've been working on lately, what the shows are that you've heard them on. I will warn you, though, that they cannot tell you everything that they are doing at the moment. Voice actors at any given time are frequently under what are called NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. The studio that hired them to do a video game or a series wants them not to announce they're doing it. The studio wants to announce it themselves. How many of you, with a show of hands, are currently under an NDA and you cannot tell us about something you just did? See, it's always unanimous. Now, we are recording this 6 weeks ago from the time this goes online, so you may have heard about some of the things by then have been announced, but if they don't mention one of their most recent credits, that's the reason they're not allowed to today. Candi, we'll start with you. Would you tell us, where have we heard you on TV? What cartoons, video games we would have heard you in?
You would have heard me in Final Fantasy. You would have heard me as the voice of Dexter in Dexter's Lab, Astro Boy, the Flea and
okay, hold on. You've got to do a little bit of Dexter for us.
Didi, get out of my laboratory. I'm going to kill you, woman. Don't you touch that button. I'm the voice of Astro Boy, and I worked on that with Mr. Wally Wingert. And I was Nick Dean, yo dude, in Jimmy Neutron. Snap and Boom Nerd in Chalk Zone. I'm Maya from Maya and Miguel. I was Sweetie in Tiny Toons. And what did I say? I have been doing this for 32 years. I am under an NDA, but I can tell you one thing that I'm working on right now, or I have worked on, and the cat's out of the bag, is that I play Granny. Yes, I do in Space Jam 2 with LeBron James and Don Cheeto. Yes, I do. Granny's got game, yo. Haters gonna hate.
Wow.
So, anything we've heard of?
And I was just like, I wanted to make a sign that said imdb.com/Candi Milo. I've been doing this a long time and still auditioning like everybody else does, and not yet quite out of the game. Blessings, blessings, luck, luck, luck.
I will tell you all that when I was directing the Garfield Show for 5 or 6 years, we'd write a part, and it was a female part or a young boy, and I'd go, I have no idea who I should cast for this. I'll cast Candi. Because whatever we could throw at her, she managed to do magnificently. Also on the Garfield Show was Mr. Wally Wingert.
Hello,
Wally,
everybody.
Go through your list, Wally.
Well, there was the Garfield Show, of course. About a year ago, there was a direct-to-Netflix movie, which kind of settled the whole Invader Zim series from back in the early 2000s. So it's called Enter the Florpus. So yes, I was tallest red. Well, yeah, we're hilarious. Yeah. But the last thing you've probably heard me on is an airplane. The voice of American Airlines. Please make sure your tray table and seat back are in the upright position in preparation for landing. And thank you for flying American Airlines. Wow. So there's a bunch of other stuff, of course, as Mark mentioned, the NDA. But yes, Astro Boy, fond memories with Dr. O'Shea, not the creator of Astro Boy, but certainly the mentor to Astro Boy. Isn't that right, Astro?
Yes, it is, Dr. O'Shea. Whatever, dude.
And our good friend Bill Farmer was also in that show as well. So it was a good time. Renji Abarai from Bleach, people seem to like that. And if you play video games, you'll no doubt know the Riddler from the Arkham Asylum games. Well, Batman, isn't it great to see you again? I can't wait to outsmart you yet again. Yes, I am the Riddler. So all that is fun stuff.
Wally, would you do for me my favorite voice of yours, the one you had for several years on NBC Monday through Friday at 11:35?
It's the Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Woo!
Tonight, Jay welcomes Mark Evanier, Candi Milo, Wally Wingert, Jenny Yokobori, and Zeno, and the music of Zeno Robinson. So, I only mispronounced a name one time, and it was the band Metric, and I pronounced them Metro because when I was working as a DJ on the Wave and Smooth Jazz, there was a band named Metro, and they just had a brain fart, and I called them Metro, not Metric, and they kind of hit the thing. But I did get to introduce OK Go with Animal on drums. It was Animal from the Muppets. So
my God.
the original intro was the music of OK Go with Animal the Muppet. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not going to fly. Sure enough, I had to redo the intro. They changed the copy. They said, no, the Muppets said you can't say Animal the Muppet. You have to say Animal from the Muppets. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of knew that, but I didn't want to step. It wasn't my job to do that. But that was pretty cool. And I get backstage and I see Eric Jacobson setting up all in black, setting up the thing. And I said, I want to see this. I want to see this. And this is before I knew Eric Jacobson. He's a pal now. So I'm just kind of standing off in the hallway watching the band set up, get ready for the segment, and Eric's back there setting Animal up, and he sees me looking at him, and he sees my face like that, which you've seen a million times, and he's like, hi. It's like, yeah, this is what I do. I'm like, oh, hi. Fantastic. Anyway,
yeah, Eric is a second generation Muppeteer. He took over most of Frank Oz's parts, I believe, and does them amazingly. Yeah, I think he does all of Frank Oz's characters except Cookie Monster, which is David Ruttman. Yeah. Anyway, Jenny, where have we heard you lately?
Hi. I'm really excited to be here with you guys. What a pleasure. You've heard me on Hello Kitty and Friends Super Cute Adventures. I play Kuromi and Cinnamoroll. I'm on The Simpsons. I play Kumiko. Let's see.
Could we hear a little of her?
Kumiko. Oh boy. Let me see. I'm trying to remember what does she say? There's no copy in front of me.
It's true though.
That is.
All right.
I'm sorry.
You could have her complain. You could have her complaining that there's no copy in front of her.
There's no copy right here. I cannot see anything. You are like a baby drug dealer.
Like a baby drug dealer.
That's my favorite line I've gotten to say as her. I got to yell at Marge Simpson for showing me her baby, and now she's baby crazy. I've guest starred on Pokemon Journeys. Let's see, I am on Rainbow High as Jade. I am also the director and casting director of that show as well.
Cool.
And I'm on Akudama Drive, also with Zeno. And yeah, those are some places that you've heard me.
Great. Jenny, how long have you been in the business?
About maybe 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years.
Wow.
Tell us, what were you doing before that?
A lot. So my resume is eclectic and expansive. Before that, I have been a pyrotechnician at Universal Studios and the Hollywood Bowl and Dodger Stadium. I was a supervisor. Pyrotechnician means you blow stuff up. Sure is, yeah. Sure does.
Did you ever work on the Beetlejuice Graveyard Review?
No, I wish.
That's probably after your time.
She blows stuff up. Yep. Live with that a minute.
Yeah, just like everyone, let that sink in.
I did actually work with the Muppets one time. I think I was probably 19 or 20, and I worked at the Hollywood Bowl. It was during the summer, and I got to work with the Muppets. I got to set up all the fireworks and everything with the other the crew.
I was there that night. I was there for that. Yes,
me too.
I helped set up those fireworks. That was
my gosh, that's so
was
cool.
That when Crazy Harry was blowing everything up?
It was all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do the fireworks at Hollywood Bowl for Jeff Lindsay LO when they were there? When they did Roll Over Beethoven?
I don't think so.
You were out of that by then, probably.
I think so. And then I also did get to do fireworks and pyro for Black Sabbath, which was really, really awesome.
That's cool.
Okay, so I have
We're
to
gonna
ask,
be very good friends after this.
Nice.
I'm gonna stalk you, FYI.
Love it.
Because you are my kind of girl.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath.
Right. So now I have to ask, how does one go from blowing things up for a living to reading voiceover copy?
Let's see. So I've been acting since I was like a really, really little kid, always doing like school plays and things like that. And so I originally moved out to LA to pursue acting, and then somewhere along the way, I took some like detours, and I ended up blowing stuff up and working with chainsaws and supervising monsters at horror nights and driving trucks around Disneyland and setting up like sets and like building up events and like taking them down in the same night and like managing a pop-up candy museum, just like somehow that became my life for a few years, where I just had a very eclectic, weird, like patchwork quilt of jobs. But what I really always loved was acting. And so one of my weird jobs that I was doing was I was a tour guide at Universal Studios. I was on the tram and everything. And one day there was a workshop with Bob Bergen, who used to be a tour guide as well. And they're like, oh yeah, it's a free workshop with Bob Bergen, the voice of Porky Pig. You can learn about voiceover from him. And I was like, yep, I'm going to sign up right away. That sounds amazing. And I took that workshop and it changed my life. And then I remember it still took me about like maybe a few months to really like process what everything just happened. And then like, I remember so clearly I was sitting in the back of a work van at Disneyland wearing like my all blacks, being like sweaty from just like setting up a grad night. And all of a sudden it just like, hit me. It's like, you're supposed to do voiceover. And I was like, oh, I'm so dumb. And so then I just like signed up for workshops and everything that night. I like bought every book I could find and I just went in full force.
There's quite a few cartoon voice actors who were Universal tour guides or involved with the Universal tour. And I get to tell them all that the very first script that they ever prepared for the tour guides in 1969 was written by me.
Oh, and that's so cool.
And very little of it still remains because they tore down half the things that were there in 1969. But and I got paid. If I had gotten paid a dime for every time that script's been read, I would own Universal Studios now. Anyway, let's go to Mr. Robinson, please, sir. Tell us where we've heard you for a while.
You've heard me on Big City Greens as Remy Remington. Hi, it's me, Remy, your friend. You heard me in Pokemon Journeys as Go. Pokeball Go! There's if you are fans of DC, Young Justice, I play Victor Stone Cyborg. I'm Cyborg. If you My Hero Academia, I play Hawks, the number 2 hero. Craig of the Creek, I'm Carter Brown, cardboard connoisseur, and I'm also the voice of the Green Poncho. Think that's like it. That's not it, but that's most of it.
So, Zeno, how long have you been doing voices?
I've been doing it for like 13 years now. 13? Something like that.
What were you doing before that? Were you blowing anything up?
I'm not as cool as Jenny. I was not blowing anything up. I was trying to pass all of my classes. That's what I was doing before that. I started at 14 when I did Ben 10 for the first time, and then just doing school plays. From then on, college plays, taking classes, and just stumbling my way through the industry. Then it all kind of happened. Big City Greens happened. Recently, the Golden Guard and the Owl House, as of yesterday, just aired. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. and yeah, just like stumbled my way through, and just stuff started happening. Like,
well, you've been working an awful lot. I mean, especially in the last few years, I've seen your name on everything lately.
I appreciate it.
And more people kept saying to me, writing me, saying, "When are you going to get Zeno on one of your?" I wrote back to one person wrote me and said, "When are you going to get Zeno on one of your panels?" And I actually, for just to see what happened, I wrote back and said, "Which Zeno are you talking about?"
There's so many.
So many.
And this person was very pissed at me. I want to ask each of you, but we'll start with Zeno here. Did you have a hero, a role model, a voiceover actor or that you were conscious of, and you said, "Oh, I want to do what that person does"? Was there ever a person? I mean, at some point you thought, "Hey, it might be fun to do voiceovers for animation." Was there anybody who inspired you in particular?
Particularly for me, it would be Phil Lamar and Yuri Lowenthal. Yuri Lowenthal was one of the first voice actors I'd ever encountered, because I did Ben 10 when I was 14, and he was Ben. So at the time, and he was, we were on a lunch, and I had no idea that this was how cartoons were made. I was just like starstruck at everything. I sat next to Kevin Michael Richardson in that session, and he was like telling me he's like gone to, and I was like, he was Static's dad, and Static is my favorite cartoon. So like, I was like, oh my God, it's like he's my dad. And Yuri Lowenthal was saying that he's like Sasuke and Naruto, and I loved Naruto as a kid. So like, I was texting him today, because we were talking about Ben 10, and I was like, I have all these embarrassing emails of me emailing you like after sessions, like, did I do a good job today? Oh, I heard your voice in this thing, and I'm a big fan of this thing you did. Like, you did really good. I'm playing your game right now, and he like he didn't remember. I was like, I'll send it to him one day. But yeah, like that's how, like, coming up, I was like, I want to do what he does. And then Static was my favorite cartoon. It was the first ever show that made me aware of my racial identity. Like, as a kid, like, I was like, oh wait, there's black superheroes. There can be black superheroes. And I just really started following Phil Lamar's work. And because like that, he's my favorite that's my favorite superhero. It's my favorite show. So I'd say like those two, for completely separate reasons, but they have to be on equal footing for me. Yeah.
That's great. I should mention today that Jenny and Zeno are appearing here today through the courtesy of Secunda Wood.
Yes.
who helped hook me up with them. Secunda is one of the workingest voice actresses in the business these days. If she ever becomes an agent, she will own the industry. She is so enthusiastic about her friends that you just want to hire everybody she recommends.
I love
Jenny. Jenny, did you have a role model, a person who inspired you in particular?
Oh, there's so many. One of them is Candi. Yeah, so it's a real honor to be here with you. Yeah, I grew up. Yeah, I would always do impressions of the Flea growing up. I'm from Mucha Lucha.
Oh my God, I love the Flea.
Okay, I think you have to do the impression for Candi.
I would love it. Come on now, lady, don't stand behind your shame. Orale pues.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, like, I always just do the Flea. Like, you always talk like this.
Nice. Yes.
So yeah,
Okay.
Candi was a big inspiration for me.
Candi, when they revive that show and they do auditions,
I'm just gonna say, you know what? I'll voice direct it, and Jenny can do it.
Nice.
Yes.
That's a done deal. That's a hired.
Anybody besides Candi?
Yeah, I mean, E.G. Daily, Debbie Derryberry, Tara Strong, Gray Griffin, Lauren Tom was a huge idol for me, because she voiced number 3 in Codename Kids Next Door, and very similar to Zeno, like that sort of like when I saw a cartoon character who looked like me, and then I found out that her voiceover artist was Asian too, and it was like the most exciting thing ever. It was so amazing to be like, wait a second, like she's Asian, I'm Asian, like there's people who like me who are doing
like,
this
that's
now.
me.
That's incredible. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then she also voiced Amy on Futurama, which was like I was obsessed with as a kid, and I had no idea that later I would go on to work on a Matt Groening show. And then also another big role model for me was Hank Azaria, which is just like, and now I'm married to him on The Simpsons. And so it's very, very weird how that works out. But yeah, Hank is just, he's so versatile, and he's just like, he's so fearless when it comes to voices, where he really just absolutely just goes for it, full force, whatever he's doing. And so I always really admired that. And so it's an honor to be his TV wife.
Wally, is there somebody that you, before we leave that, Jenny, are we aware that there was a time not that long ago when we have an Asian voice to cast, let's get a white girl or let's get a white guy, that now we finally have people of color being cast to play people of color, and frequently being cast to play people who are green and orange and purple and yellow as well. And that is a very nice development. Mr. Azaria stepped aside on one of his key roles on The Simpsons because it just felt wrong now for him to be doing that character. Wally, somebody who inspired you, name some people who inspired you as a voice actor.
Dawes and Don.
Dawes Butler and Don Messick.
The D&D boy, as an HB kid and a Filmation kid, I loved everything that Don and Dawes did when I was a kid, because I'd see those little short Huckleberry Hound cartoons, the Quick Draw McGraw cartoons, and all those as a kid, and I loved those. And I also loved Filmation and all the stuff that Larry Storch used to do. And Larry Storch was the one who showed me that you can also do on camera as well as voiceover. When I would see the Underdog cartoon, I would see the names show up at the end under Total Television and the cast. And I said, Don Adams, Larry Storch. Well, there's guys on TV with those names. That's really weird. But I was only like 5 years old at the time. My first word, I think, before Papa and Mama was Popeye. I loved Popeye. So I loved, and it was an honor to get to do a Popeye. Remember CD-ROMs, folks? Back in the old days, CD-ROMs? Yeah. I did, oh, Oliver. I am what I am. Oh, Brutus. So I got to actually do Popeye, and I thought, well, that's kind of a cool full circle kind of thing. But yeah, Dawes and Don by far. And then later on in my life, as I got into the industry and started working with the great Frank Welker, I realized, wow, he is the greatest living voice actor and possibly the greatest voice actor of all time. He's right up there. So early on as a kid, Don and Dawes, and later Frank. So it's fantastic.
And you've gotten to actually share studio space with some of these people you admired.
Yes, I met Don, but never got to work with him. But I never met Dawes. But yes, Frank is my cat, among other things, on Garfield. So hey, Garfield, and every time Frank sends me an email, he always signs it off with love, your cat. So he's still my cat. So that's fantastic.
You got to on the Garfield show. You got to work with June Foray a lot.
Well, thanks to you.
And with Stan Freberg.
Thanks to you, and that's one of my favorite memories. If you remember, there was a scene with two old people sitting on a porch, and John is frantically looking for Garfield, and it's just a page and a half of me, June Foray, and Stan Freberg. And I loved John and Marcia. I loved all the Stan Freberg's comedy. I'm a Dementite. I'm a Dr. Demento fan. And of course, June Foray as well for all the stuff she's done. I love her. So it was just us three. And we did the scene, and I'm kind of in the moment. I'm like, okay, cool. So then Mark Evanier hits the talk back and goes, okay, June, Stan, Wally, go back to line 432. And after he said Wally, I heard nothing else because I was so locked in the moment. It's like, did he just say my name along with June and Stan? Did I just hear my name? Humble little Wally bunched in with those. And I was like off on a fantasy thing. And I was like, what? Excuse me? Mark's like, did you hear what I said? I'm like, no, I lost you after Mark, June, Stan, because I was just like, did I hear my name? That's amazing. So it was one of those mind blowing moments in someone's adventures in this business where you just kind of go, oh my gosh, I'm really doing this. But they were just both delightful. And thank you, Mark, again, for allowing us the opportunity to work with some of those really great people that came in, Jack Riley and Marvin Kaplan, and of course June and Stan, and all the other great. Corey Burton came in, and just all the really great people that came in on that show. That was an amazing time. So.
Well, it was a lot of fun. I am fortunate that I got to be a cartoon writer and voice director at a time when the first generation was still active, and I could work with Dawes Butler and Don Messick and these people and cast them from time to time. Since I have the photos handy here, this is Dawes Butler.
Oh, wow.
Dawes was the voice of Huckleberry Hound, Yogi Bear, Hokey Wolf, Dixie the Mouse, Mr. Jinx, Quick Draw McGraw, Baba Louie, Snooper Blabber, Augie Doggy, Elroy Jetson, Captain Crunch, most of the men on the Fractured Fairy Tales, the Sun and Aesop and Sons. I get Snagglepuss in there, Wally Gator. I mean, he just was the voice of tons and tons of characters. He was the nicest man you would ever want to meet. And when you were around him, you felt much more talented than you were, because he treated everybody like equals. An awful lot of the voice actors who are working today studied with him. A lot of Greg Burson studied with him. The Simpsons. I'm blanking on Bart Simpson.
Nancy Cartwright.
Nancy Cartwright studied with him, and Bill Farmer studied with him. And if you want to know more about that, look at the other videos I've done with voice actors. That we mentioned Dawes, and their faces light up, and they love him dearly. And we also got to work with his partner for a while, Stan Freberg, who was one of the greatest voice actors who ever lived. He was in an awful lot of Warner Brothers cartoons. He was the Beaver in Lady and the Tramp. He was the voice of Cecil the C6 Sea Serpent, and he had a wonderful career apart from that, doing comedy records, and another career as an on-camera actor, and another career as the guy who basically invented and perfected the funny commercial. Any funny commercials you saw on television for years were either done by Stan Freberg or by an ad agency was trying to be Stan Freberg. And we had him on the Garfield Show, and we had the lovely June Foray here. Of Granny that Candi now does, the voice of Rocky the Flying Squirrel, the voice of a couple of Smurfs,
Natasha.
a woman, Natasha, a woman whose career started in the days of Golden Age radio in the 40s and lasted long enough to be heard in video games.
Wow.
It was like technology was inventing new ways to give June Foray a job for a long time.
She was in her 90s when she showed up on the Garfield Show and did not use reading glasses. And she
was amazing.
It was I was like, how does she not do that? It's amazing. She was fantastic.
June won her first Emmy at the age of 94 for doing a role on the Garfield Show.
Thanks to whom? Thanks to whom?
I took her to the daytime Emmys, and we were getting settled in there, and I thought they showed me the copy that was going to introduce us, and I thought I better find the announcer who is going to be reading this and tell them how to pronounce my last name. And I went to the announce booth, and the announcer, who was the announcer there? It was Candi Milo, who not only knew how to pronounce my name, but I had Candi booked for the next day. So in this business, we all intersect. Candi, tell us people who inspired you.
Well, in my childhood, it was June, who was uncredited, by the way, in all of the Looney Tune cartoons as Granny. It was only voice characterizations by Mel Blanc, and June was uncredited in most of the stuff that she did. It was just the way that the system worked back then. But
it was the way Mel Blanc's agent worked back then.
Bingo. Right. And bingo. And so I always looked, as Zeno and Jenny talked about, I was looking for my representation, and growing up really in the 60s and 70s, there wasn't anything. So I was a huge Jay Ward fan. His sense of humor was my sense of humor. Fractured Fairy Tales was my thing. June did tons of voices, and the June-alikes were also fantastic. But Warner Brothers cartoons, Daffy Duck, those were especially Daffy Duck, and the early Daffy Duck that looks like if he were around today, he'd be medicated. That was like that was my energy. That's who I was. So I grew up with Looney Tunes. I grew up with Jay Ward, and then my first audition and my first job was Steven Spielberg's Tiny Toons, and I sat between Don Messick and Frank Welker. And Don Messick was just brilliant and ever the gentleman, but Frank Welker taught me how to be a voice actor. And that was a room that was filled with a lot of personality, and sometimes the personalities were so huge to hide the fact that they were all terrified. It's that imposter syndrome. And I remember being kind of blown away because I had been doing a lot of stage work. I had come off of the first national tour of Dreamgirls, and I was doing a lot of Broadway workshops here in LA. I had tested for Saturday Night Live and Mad TV, and I was kind of sure that I was so sure I didn't know what I was doing that I was perfectly at ease. And Frank Welker taught me how to separate my pages when the mics were live, and we sat in the back row of a school and that's how they did it. We were B&B Sound. It was a rose, and they had the leads up front, and then we went to the back, and me, myself, Don Messick, and Frank Welker were all in the background. And between the two of them, and Frank Welker to this day inspires me. His work ethic, his love of new talent, his embrace of his talent. Therefore, he can celebrate your win and my win and his wins. It's just, it's why I love our community so much, is that it's filled with Frank Welkers, but he is the original Frank Welker. And that is really, truly it. And all I wanted to be when I was a kid was a singer. And when I became a voice actor, and that became my industry, and now I want to do the best that I can. I just want to be the best June Foray, and I want to wear white go-go boots when I'm 95.
Yeah.
One of the recurring themes in these panels, and those of you who've seen them before know what I'm about to say, is that voice actors are enormous fans of other voice actors. You've seen how everybody here is, and even though these people are sometimes, by some odd definition, competitors, they really aren't. The voice acting business is a place where sometimes you'll say I'll try to hire somebody, and they'll say, I could do that part, but you know who does that really well? And he kind of needs to make his SAG health insurance. Why don't you hire that guy? And
that would never happen in on camera, by the way. Never happen in on camera.
Yeah, because there's perks. There's a special perk to being on camera that you forego if you're a voice person. And also the thing is that there's so many good people out there. You don't need to hire the assholes. If somebody is competitive, they usually do themselves in. There's a vicious circle. I get very pushy and competitive because I'm not working, and then you don't work because you're pushy and competitive. So anyway, I do not have
we don't do a lot of, I'm sorry, I just want to say one of the great things about being a voice actor is that my jobs are my jobs. Jenny's jobs are hers. Wally's are his. Zeno's are his. And you know that, because what many people who are watching this don't understand is we all audition. We all audition every single day. I don't have anybody at any studio saying, well, Candi's going to get this unless Jenny does a better job. And so there's no incentive for Jenny to fight me or not like me. I'm going to do something so different than what Jenny does and what Zeno does and what Wally does. Even if we were reading for the same tree or green person or alien, whatever, we're all going to bring what we bring, and my jobs are my jobs. And it's one of the things voice actors know that I sometimes think on-camera actors don't understand. They feel like if they know somebody, they can get in. And I am a woman of a certain age, and I can promise you there are 4 auditions waiting to be turned in tomorrow morning on my machine. I'm still auditioning, and I've got a lovely footprint on IMDb. And I think that's what makes us so loving toward one another. We're all just fighting the same battle, trying to make healthcare and have fun.
Yeah. And the great thing about voiceover, unlike on camera, is you can be any age, and as long as you still sound 14, Rob Paulson, you can still play a 14-year-old because you don't sound like an old man or don't look like an old man, and don't have to have plastic surgery when you get on the big screen. Oh, look, I haven't aged today, Tom Cruise. But you can still play a 14-year-old mutant green person if you're Rob Paulson and still sound like you're 14.
Right.
So Jana Waldo was doing her Judy Jetson teenage voice into her 90s.
Yeah.
It sound like that. It was amazing. And by the way, Candi, I hired you an awful lot. I don't recall ever making you audition for anything.
Okay, but that is an exception to the rule.
Let me show here. I don't have a picture of Don Messick. We keep talking about Don, but I do have this picture here, which is amazing.
Oh wow!
This is a
Hanna-Barbera.
This is Joe Barbera's
and Walter
office.
Lance.
Yeah, that's Joe Barbera's office. Joe Barbera is on the far left. Bill Hanna is on the far right. And everything you need to know about those men's relationships, you can tell by the way they're dressed in this photo.
Right.
Yeah. Bill had his shirt sleeves animating like crazy, and Joe was at the network selling more shows. Yeah. The man in the striped tie is Walter Lance, creator of Woody Woodpecker. The man in the red plaid shirt is Don Messick, voice of Scooby-Doo, Boo Boo Bear, Papa Smurf, Ricochet Rabbit, and one of the most versatile guys in terms of being able to just do hundreds and hundreds of different voices. Probably the guy who could do the most different voices of anyone I ever worked with. The man within the white sweater is Dawes Butler. This is near the end of Dawes's life. He was using a cane at the time, and he was beloved, and he was just, you're looking here at Boo Boo and Yogi there. Yep. And there's June in the yellow. And those are the three people who probably between them in the 50s, 60s, and 60s had, between the three of them, half the voiceover work done in this city.
Sheesh.
They were on so many shows. June would just go and commercials and looping and dubbing and all those other things. And I want to talk about looping and dubbing and things like that a little later, but we got to read a script. Would you all please get the scripts that I've sent you? We're going to do a cold reading here, meaning that these people, though they've had this script for 24 hours, they have pledged. How many people here read it? Good. None of me read. I told them not to read it. And we're going to assign the roles here. This is the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Candi, you're going to play there's a role in here for mother. This is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You're going to play Goldilocks' mother, and you're going to play Mama Bear.
Okay.
Jenny, you're going to play Goldilocks because you look the part. And Zeno, you're going to play Papa Bear.
Okay.
Wally, you're going to be the narrator. And I would like every narration line to sound like a different narrator. There's a different voice for everyone. Now, I've got a problem here. We've also got the role of Baby Bear. And I should have used a by 4-person script. I picked out a 5-person script by mistake here. Wally, do you know anyone who could maybe take the part of Baby Bear for us? You know a lot of people.
Well, living in Planet Wallywood is interesting because there's plenty of people who live here, even though I'm the only living person here. But there's plenty of. So I think maybe he's ready to audition now.
Hello, it's me. Can I play Baby Bear? I'd love to play Baby Bear. It'd be fantastic. Could I make Baby Bear a chicken?
No, Baby Bear cannot be a chicken.
Okay, no chicken. I'll just play Baby Bear.
We're gonna have Gonzo step into the 5th role here. So and Gonzo, would you try not to talk over Wally's narration, please?
Okay, all right. Don't talk over me. I won't talk over you. Okay, don't talk over me. Okay, good. We have an agreement. Yep.
Okay, good. All right, everyone, we're gonna do. I'm going to put my glasses on. This is not exactly how cartoon sessions are done, because everybody is allowed to screw with the dialogue and ad lib, and you can change voices anytime you like. This is a luxury you do not have in a regular session, where you better be damn sure if you change a line a copy, and you better stick to one voice. But you can change the voice anytime you want. And if I and every so often I may come in here and ask you to change your voice. I may just interrupt as the director. All right, we're gonna start here with line 1, which is Wally. This is the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and go to it.
Since we're just talking about Don. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Goldilocks. She was called that because she had golden locks of hair, and she was very beautiful.
Hello, my name is Goldilocks. I'm called that because I have golden locks of hair, and I'm very beautiful.
One day, she told her mother that she was going to take a walk in the woods, and her mother gave her a warning. I know that voice. I know. Shut up.
Mother of mine, I'm going to take a walk in the woods.
Do not go into the North Woods, my dear. There's got to be wild animals in the North Woods, and they like to eat little girls, especially the little girls with the golden locks of the hair, you know.
Don't worry, Mother dear. I will not stray into the North Woods.
But the trouble with Goldilocks was that she never listened to her mother, and it often got her into trouble. On her walk, she came across a sign.
What does that sign say? Warning, now entering North Woods. Little girls beware. Oh, I'm sure they won't bother me.
She continued merrily on her way on a path that would take her right past a big wooden house. In that house, there lived 3 bears.
there was a Papa Bear.
Hey, Mama, when's lunch gonna be ready? I'm starving.
And there was also a Mama Bear.
Well, I'm serving it right now, Papa. Sit down at the table and I'll give you a big steaming bowl of my delicious porridge.
Oh, porridge again.
You love my porridge.
I eat your porridge. That doesn't mean I love your porridge.
And lastly, there was their son who was known as Baby Bear because he was a baby bear or whatever.
I'm a whatever. I know you're a whatever. Just be the baby bear. I'm going to be the baby bear. Let's see. Goody! Let me at it. Mama does make the most delicious porridge. Give me some of that. How's that?
Now you see there, Papa. Someone here appreciates my cooking.
It looks hot, but I can't wait. My porridge is way too hot.
Oh, let me try it. My porridge is way too hot, too.
By the time this porridge cools down enough to eat, we'll starve to death.
Papa Bear's right.
Nonsense, my child. Listen, I know what we're going to do. We're going to walk for a walk in the woods. I'm going to sing a little song. It's going to go be something like this. I will always love you. By the time we get back, the porridge is going to be perfect.
And so that's just what they did. They went for a walk in the woods, and being very trusting bears, they didn't even think to lock the front door. Silly them.
I don't know why we always have to eat porridge. How about some real food once in a while? Come.
Y'all do love my porridge.
I happen to like porridge very much.
Quiet, son. Let me tell you what real food is, Mama.
A few minutes later, who should wander past their house but Goldilocks?
I guess I made a wrong turn. I should go that way. Maybe this way. Or that way. Oh no! I'm lost in the forest. I'm hopelessly, totally lost, and no one will ever find me. Oh no! I know who'll find me. A bear will find me and eat me. Oh, maybe the people in this house will help me.
She ran to the front door and knocked, but no one answered. In fact, the door slowly opened on its own, a door into the Twilight Zone.
Hello? Anybody here? Anybody? Is anyone here? I'm lost in the forest and I haven't had anything to eat. And I'm hungry and I'm tired, Mama. Oh, what's that? It smells like porridge. And you were there? And you were there?
Put 'em up.
Her nose led her to the dining room, where she found the 3 bowls left there by the 3 bears.
I hope the people who own this house don't mind if I eat a little bit. This porridge is too hot. Maybe this bowl. This porridge is too cold. Maybe the 3rd bowl. This porridge is just right. I'll just eat a little.
She gobbled down every last bit of the porridge. And then, after a really lame belch, she staggered into the living room and she sat down in Papa Bear's chair. She's very petite, so she belches very petitely, don't you know?
Oof, this chair is too hard.
So, she tried sitting in Mama Bear's chair.
Oh, this chair is too soft.
Finally, she tried sitting in Baby Bear's chair.
This chair is just right. Oh no, I broke the cute little chair.
Oh, I shouldn't have had McDonald's on the way here. I need to find some place to lie down.
She staggered into the bedroom where she found 3 beds. She decided to lie down on the biggest bed, which happened to be Papa Bear's bed.
No! This bed is too hard!
So she switched to the next largest bed, which was Mama Bear's bed.
No, this bed's too soft.
Finally, she lay down on the smallest bed, which was Baby Bear's bed.
This bed is just right.
I was loving that. Keep going. That's a great story. Can you do like sleep apnea with a That's a great story. I love that. That's fantastic. Sorry, I lost my place. I was into Jenny snoring there. Let's see. And then yeah. And as she was fast asleep, the 3 bears were returning home.
Man, why do we even have to have porridge for lunch, Mama?
We have always had porridge for lunch, Papa, and I've been working 9 to 5.
Candy, try a different voice. Do it again. Same line, different voice.
We always had porridge for lunch, Papa.
Try it again. Another voice. Try another voice. Do a different
Wait. We've always had porridge for lunch, Papa.
Okay.
I love porridge, as I've said a few times previously.
Yes. It's a running theme there, Gonzo.
Thank you.
That's because it's all you've ever eaten, son. Wait till you're older, and you get to taste of some of the finer things in life, you dig?
Well, that's a good one.
Zeno, try it again. More flamboyant. Give it a bigger read.
That's because it's all you've ever eaten, son. Wait till you're older and you get a taste of some of the finer things in life.
Bigger. Yeah, one more time. Bigger, even.
That's because it's all you ever eaten, son. Wait till you're older and you get to taste some of the finer things in life.
That's great.
Papa, did you lock the door when we left?
You know I never locked the door, Mama. Why you ask now?
Because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, baby, but it's wide open, like somebody walked right in while we was away. So what if there is some dastardly criminal who wants to walk in there and steal our porridge?
Oh, well, you know, he's welcome to mine. You know, I don't really like the porridge. We discussed this.
Uh-oh. What if it's a monster? A monster that's 20 feet tall and covered with white feathers with a beak and is a really hot chicken. Oh, that's not the line. Sorry. What if it has green hair and lives in a trash can? No, that's Oscar the Grouch. What if it has rows and rows of razor sharp teeth?
Oh, no.
What if it's the kind that can tear, what am I again? A whatever from limb to limb and leave the body lifeless on the ground like an old rug in front of the fireplace. Hey, that sounds kind of cool. That's going to be my next act. Shut up, Gonzo. Just read the script. Sorry.
He's still welcome to my porridge.
For that remark, Julie the way into the house, Papa, but take it real slow and be real careful.
Cautiously, they entered their house. An ominous feeling of dread hung low in the atmosphere as they made their way to the dining room. That was where they saw it.
Oh! Bigger, one more time, bigger. Okay.
Someone's been eating my porridge.
Someone's been eating my porridge.
Someone's been eating my porridge, and whoever it is has eaten it all up.
Papa, look over there in the living room. Your rocking chair, my precious, is rocking all by itself.
And the seat is warm. Someone's been sitting in my chair.
Sitting in my chair, precious.
Someone's been sitting in my chair, too, and they broke it to pieces. Hey, there's a diamond ring in here. Woohoo!
What's in our house? Is it a ghost? Is it a monster? Is it a demon spirit?
Relax, both of you. You're letting your imaginations get the best of you. An empty bowl of porridge and a broken chair doesn't mean there's a monster in the house. What's that noise? Let me out of this place!
Hey, hold up. Stop. In the name of love, Sorry. Anyway. Do I have to have the courage in all this, family? You're going to be terrible role models for me. Your young, impressionable, and cute son. Woohoo! If there's a monster here, we have to find it, face it, and defeat it.
My son is right. This is a moment that requires courage.
That ghastly sound was coming from the bedroom.
Follow me!
Slowly, cautiously, they tiptoed into the bedroom, where they found...
Someone's been sleeping in my bed.
Someone's been sleeping in my bed.
Someone's been sleeping in my bed, and she's sleeping in it right now. Unfortunately, she's not a chicken. Oh, well.
So who said that? Someone say something about chicken? I hear somebody. Who's here? Who? Ah!
Goldilocks screamed, and then screamed again. Thank you. She ran from the bear's house and all through the woods back to her home. She never disobeyed her mother, and she never went into the woods again. As for the three really cool bears, from then on they kept their doors locked. Oh, and Mama Bear learned how to cook something besides porridge.
For dinner tonight, I'm gonna make me a roast gonzo. A chicken.
No, not a chicken. Anything but a chicken. Oh, I can't take this anymore. I quit. I can't do this.
Finally, I've always wanted roast guns. I mean, chicken.
Stuffed with porridge.
Since he left, I'll finish Gonzo's line. Hey, that's good eating. It had to be a chicken. It had to be a chicken.
It had to be a chicken.
We forgot when we cast Gonzo there was a chicken in the script. Did I mute you, Candi, accidentally here? Hold on, are you muted? It says here Candi's mic isn't connected. Something's wrong with Candi's mic.
Did she hit her mute button accidentally?
It says her mic is not connected somehow. I'll talk while we figure this out here.
My earbuds died, so sorry.
We're almost out of time here. People watching at home, you see the incredible versatility these people have. Jenny can even snore like Curly Howard, it turns out.
That's my new ringtone, by the way. Jenny snoring.
Yeah. Nice.
I got a call from Mom.
It is if you are aspiring to be a cartoon writer, as probably some people watching this are, you understand the joy of writing for people who can not only do anything but take what are sometimes the ordinary expository lines and turn them into something. One of the lessons that Dawes Butler used to teach is you have to take every line and think of a way to make it interesting. And Dawes, if you remember on the Snagglepuss commercials for Cocoa Krispies, Snagglepuss used to say, "It tastes like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy." Crunchy was a Dawes corruption of a word. He would do that all the time. He'd find ways to have his characters speak in ways that took sometimes not the most interesting copy as in a commercial and still make it fascinating and fun. We have a few more minutes here before we have to wind this up here. Let me ask briefly, Jenny and Zeno, you're fairly new in this. Who is the biggest, this might not be the same person that you said influenced you, who was the biggest thrill you ever had to work with? To share a cartoon with somebody that you worked with and you went, my God, I can't believe I'm in a cartoon with name of person. Who's that? Jenny, Zeno, either of you?
For me, it's a tie. between Bob Bergen and Bill Farmer. It's in a project that I can't talk about, but it was the biggest thrill of my life. It was so cool finding out that all of a sudden, like, I'm in a room. This was a pandemic, so all of a sudden I'm in a Zoom room with Bob Bergen and Bill Farmer, and who I've taken lessons from both of them, and so it was just very, very surreal being like, oh, now I'm working with you guys. This is nuts.
Okay, Zeno?
Every single every single time. Like, it's Young Justice was crazy. I was sitting in between Jesse McCartney and Nolan North and Troy Baker and Steve Bloom and Tara Strong.
Yeah.
Animaniacs, Rob Paulson and Jess Harnell, and was it Tress McNeil? Like that was because I grew up on Animaniacs. I mean, even Ben 10, that was Kevin Michael Richardson and Yuri Lowenthal and Ashley Johnson and Greg Sipes and D. Bradley Baker. I saw Frank Welker in passing once, and it's like I'm in the same rooms as these incredible people every single time. I mean, I got to do Craig of the Creek with Phil Lamar, and Kari Payton played my dad. You know, it's like every single time I do something new. It's always something incredible.
Yeah. Since the pandemic started, most people are recording in their home studios. Each of these people has a home studio. And it used to be that we'd all get together in a room. It was a lot of fun. Wally and Candi would come over to a Buzzy's recording studio, which no longer exists, unfortunately. And we would do these sessions. And everybody is having fun. It's like a party. And everybody is making everybody else look better. And everybody has stories. And it's like, you know, and sometimes I have to be the villain and say, let's stop talking and let's record the cartoon now. and everybody was a little better actor when they were through, because the best way to learn how to act is to act opposite people who are really good. And that was the value of a teacher like Bob Bergen or Bill Farmer. That was the value that Dawes had to his students and he was teaching and all these people, because you know, there's only so good you can be surrounded by amateurs. And when you work with the, you know, this is one of the themes here, because you're all working with people you respect, and you're coming up to their level. They're bringing you up, and you're teaching you at the same time. And it's one of the exciting things about voice acting. I was trying on a lot of the shows I directed to put old timers and new people together. Wally will tell you, we once did a voice session on Garfield where I had 3 different actors in wheelchairs, literally in the room, because they were in their 80s, all of them. And they all sounded fine, and they were all good actors. And there was that experience, which I'm sorry that Jenny and Zeno aren't going to have the chance ever to work with the first family of voice
Hang
actors.
on, I'm going to be in a wheelchair soon. I'm going to give me another 20 years, and they'll be working with me in a wheelchair. So.
Okay. Well, that's very good. Does anyone want to tell? We're just about bad time. Does anyone want to tell their website, their where they're going to be? Keep in mind that we're recording this 6 weeks before it's going to be online. Candi?
I am at Candi Milo on Twitter. I'd love to have a follow. On July 16th, maybe by the time you see this, it'll be open, but please go see Space Jam, and I play Granny in it. And
it's been open for 2 weeks, Candi.
Oh, good. So go see it. Go see it. Mama needs residuals. Go see it.
I will also add that I have been in the audience 3 or 4 times when Candi has appeared in live musicals. I took Lorraine Newman down to see her in Mamma Mia, and she was fabulous. And I took my friend Amber down to see her in 9 to 5 in San Diego, and she was fabulous. And I took her to, I've seen Candi on the stage many times.
Yeah,
and,
let's bring theater back. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Wally, any place you want to talk?
Yes. Well, Wally Wingert at Twitter and Instagram. But this is before the pandemic, but the pandemic kind of helped me hone it. I've come up with a 13-story book series. This is my first book, Donnie Druthers' Christoween Capers. It's people who like their Christmas stories monsterized. So that's kind of for the Tim Burton crowd. It's a lot of great artwork and stuff. So Christoween.net is where we'll be selling the book. And in the story, in the first story, Donnie, the little kid, meets Frankenstein, who has to sub for Santa Claus one Christmas because Santa's ill, and he makes a Christoween stalking. Instead of a stocking, it's a stalking because that's what monsters do every night. So it's like Tim Burton and Dr. Seuss had a baby. It's all in rhyme, and it's for the adult monster kid. Little kids will be fine, but it's for the adult monster kid like me who grew up on famous monsters. So this is the Frankie stocking, the first of 14 stockings in the set. So we're looking for strategic partners for animation, for publishing, for all kinds of different things. So my attorney and I are hard at work finding all that stuff. But we have merchandise hitting the website, Christoween.net. It's probably up by now. Christmas ornaments, kerchiefs, pillows, stuffed figures, all kinds of stuff. So Christoween.net, and we hope that's going to be my retirement because the 13 stories are finished and ready to go. We just need to find a publisher who can do these. So that's what I've been working on.
Hey, Jenny, you got anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Jenny Yokobori. That's JennyYokobori. So you can find me on Twitter. I got verified yesterday, which is very weird. I don't know what I did to do that.
Yay.
That's to differentiate you from all the Jenny Yokobori impersonators on Twitter passing themselves off as you.
I mean,
yes.
Jenny Yokobori is such a common name. So
Yeah,
it's good. They were able to
I know
make
so
the
many.
distinction. No, I know, it's so common. Jenny Yokobori on Twitter and Instagram and et cetera. My website is jennyyokobori.com. If you want to see any like examples of my work, there's stuff. There's stuff on there. It's neat. Go.
Does it blow stuff up? I want to go to a website that'll blow something up.
That's what's missing. Your website.
That costs extra. Extra.
Oh. It should just be a big explosion when we get to your website.
We can talk. Yeah.
When we get back to doing these voice panels in front of live audiences, we'll get Jenny on one of them, and she'll bring something. We'll blow something up on
stage.
Yes. Something with confetti.
Or at least you can like bring out a sledgehammer at a watermelon. We can do that.
Oh yeah, just go
Full
bobcat. Yeah.
Do a medley of Gallagher's joke.
Right.
Anyway,
Gallagher's joke.
Gallagher, yeah.
Zeno.
Is Childish Gamzino on Instagram and Twitter. And I just watched that.
Following you now.
Thank you.
Already following.
Yeah, just I'm just doing the Owl House on Disney, and Big City Greens, and there's gonna be a 5-part Craig of the Creek finale, season finale, and it's gonna be really cool. So please go watch.
Great. Well, anyway, thank you all for being here. Thank you, those of you who tuned in to watch this. This panel will be online ad infinitum. Tell your friends to they can watch it at their leisure. And thank you to Secunda Wood for her help. We will all see you on the next voice panel, which I really hope will be in person. Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.